Welcome back to Elsinore. We are on the night of day 1, and remember there's supposed to be 4 days that we're looping through again and again. So 3 days from now, I think we're probably gonna die. I seriously doubt we can avoid the tragedy that happens on our very first run through. There's no way. So our quest right now just says, get some rest. Just go to sleep. Which makes sense, because it's nighttime, but also, do I really have to? Is there anything stopping me from just exploring around? I mean, how's the map look? Like, yeah, there's still some people around. It's not like they've disappeared or they're sleeping in their chambers yet. In fact, it seems like nobody's sleeping in their chambers yet. So, let's just go explore, right? About the table. This is where I'd seat visitors for a chat. That is, if Father ever allowed me to have any. Peculiar Tales, Volume 4. Ah, I borrowed this from the gallery some time ago. Let's read this. May Eve. I remember Celeste rode in the front. She was the head of the May parade, wearing a long white dress with a blue ribbon around her waist and flowers braided into her hair. No one had ever seen a May Queen half so pretty, they said. A trail of wagons tied together proceeded down the only street in town, and there she sat at the very front, skirts trailing beneath her legs, which dangled off the wagon's edge. Her feet were bare and pale and clean, her eyes a blue to match her sash. And even I had to admit she was beautiful. I watched her go by from just outside Mum's cottage. She turned to smile at me and called out, "Anna, come dance with us." She extended her hands towards me, the bells tied to her wrists tinkling faintly. We had been best friends once, after all. But the boys who walked at her side jeered at me. "Ugly little bitch," one of them screeched. Another tossed a stone. "Brown-toothed, slack-jawed, scruff-haired nothing." One of them came after me with a stick, as though he meant to break it over my back. Tears filling my eyes, I retreated into the woods. Far away from the ruckus sound of the May Day parade, everything here was dark and silent. The trees stretched like fingers overhead, and for a moment I forgot myself in that darkness. I knew not where I went, but walked with my eyes locked upon the mossy ground. There was no path. I needed none. All humans know when they have truly become lost, and so I had. It was nearly midnight now, though it had been noon when I left my mother's threshold. A full moon lit my path, casting twining shadows on the forest floor. At last I came upon a still lake, and there I prayed to the spirit of spring herself, that great goddess whose image all May Queens were created in. "Make me beautiful like Celeste," I cried. "Make me worthy of being the May Queen, too." The waters parted. A single wave lapped the surface. And then, slowly, the mare climbed out of the water's depths, one hoof at a time. It was a white mare, drenched through, and it shook its head wildly, flicking drops of water from its mane. Surely this must be the goddess herself, manifested in mortal form. Its mane was braided, just as Celeste's had been, but with mossweed, not flowers. The mare stood before me, its golden eyes fixed upon me. At last it said, with no mouth that could move, but with a voice all the same, "Child of man, have you come to seek my aid?" "I have," I said quietly. "I want to be beautiful as Celeste." It bowed its great head to me and nuzzled my hand. I touched it tenderly, its breath on my fingers. And, flooded with sudden relief that my prayer had been answered, I pressed my face into its mane and sobbed. "Cry not, child of man," it told me. "Come into my dark waters and be reborn as a goddess in your own right. Merely climb on my back and we'll descend together. You shall be a May Queen yet." I wrapped its mane round my fingers and pulled myself up her back with all my might, swinging one leg over her sinewy side. Together, we began to descend into the water. I felt the cold bite of it weighing down my skirts, my shoes, and before I knew it, the water was up to my chest. It was then I peered beneath the surface, and my heart leapt into my chest. The mare was no mare, but a rotted, hulking thing, its flesh stripped in pieces from its corpse and fluttering in the water's current. The wet stink of death came upon me, and I gagged. I reached for the only thing I could grab, a branch overhanging the pond, and pulled with all my might. The creature ceased its descent beneath the water and turned upon me, its face little more than 2 shriveled eyes and a grinning skull. A name rose to my lips, a choked scream. Percourse. Yes, the thing in the water hissed, its horse-like lips pulled back, revealing sharpened teeth. I turned to swim, but felt those teeth closing down upon my back. The moon grew small, high above the surface, fading from reach. The soft green of it all surrounded me. I sank down to the moss at the bottom. No, not moss, remains. And the last thing I saw was that sharp, grinning smile. You shall never be queen, it rasped, but your bones shall be beautiful indeed. Jesus Christ. That's horrifying. It's certainly not a very uplifting tale. I wish this story didn't feel so terribly familiar somehow. Peculiar Tales Volume 4. Collection of short stories. Wonder if they're all horror stories. On occasion, I like to write here. It's been a while since I had the time, though. My dresser, where some of my simpler garments are kept. I'm partial to this gown, though. It's a nice gown. Okay, so there isn't like an invisible wall or a locked door stopping us from leaving our chambers, so let's explore. Polonius' chamber. Father's likely already gone to bed. Wait. But aren't they on the map? Yeah, Polonius is listed here on the map. Oh, I can go in Laertes' place. We did just speak with them and they are our brother. If I want to take a nap, it should be in my own room. Fair. Weapon rack. Oh, Laertes. What could you possibly need all these blades for? Hamlet's locked the door. I should probably leave him be. Whoops. My room isn't down that way. Okay, so we do kind of have to go to sleep. It's interesting. Some of the art style stuff going on right here is interesting. The first thing I noticed is that, you know how when you have a game from this perspective and you're in a building or you're in something that would normally obscure your ability to see the character? Often they do something like the walls go invisible or like partially invisible or something like that. They've done something here that I don't think I've ever seen before. There isn't like some sort of invisibility. Rather, it's like they sort of cut out the wall, almost as if this place is under construction, like in a very naturalistic, this place needs to be fixed kind of way. They just cut it out and you can see layers of the outside and the brick and everything, and it's really interesting. I have to tell myself this place isn't broken and it's not under construction, because that's my first thought when I see it, but yeah, that's an interesting way to handle it. Also, I just noticed that our shadow is like a little It doesn't really look like us in any particular way. It's a very stylized. It's just like rough brush strokes. Kind of like a little blob. Yeah, just interesting art stuff. Let's go to sleep. I better rest a while. So little happened today, and yet my eyelids are already heavy. Maybe it's all the advice I received. What a strange and unnatural dream. Oh, Hamlet's in here. The hell are you doing in here?
Hello?
Is someone there?
Ophelia.
Hamlet.
Is everything all right?
Oh.
His death. I've seen it with my own eyes. And the traitor is my own blood. And my mother... Oh God, my mother.
Worms. Worms and wriggling earth.
All I can see is bile and rot everywhere.
Hamlet.
Stop for a moment. What in the world are you talking about? And why are you in my bedchamber? I'm sorry. Wait. He looked so peculiar. Something's wrong. Oh, my head feels strange. That dream seems so real. Acquired the information, what's wrong with Hamlet. Also tragic nightmare. Also learn more about Prince Hamlet's madness. Okay, yeah, so we saw a vision of things to come. We saw Hamlet speaking with the ghost of their late father. So that definitely was the night that Hamlet learned about the fact that their father was killed, murdered by Claudius. Also, the way we ourselves, Ophelia, was being like taken underwater. Underwater, very green. That resembled a lot that we saw in that story, that peculiar tale. The brook mare, or whatever it was called. The creature, I think, was called that. I don't know if the story is. I didn't actually see a creature, though. But the water seems to match. Ah, oh, time is now actually passing. It wasn't yesterday. Passing quite fast, too. So, I should probably pause. Okay, so you can't pause and, like, read the journal. Does time pass while you're reading the journal? No. Prince Hamlet's madness. Hamlet shut up in my room, raving incomprehensibly. He's been difficult before, but this is strange, even for him. What could be causing him to act out like this? Hearsay. So we can talk to people about what's wrong with Hamlet and about our tragic nightmare. I had a terrible nightmare in which I witnessed death and disaster. It felt so real, like an omen. It was. Okay. Oh, open timeline. Okay, this is new. Interesting. Obviously, there's not much here yet, but there will be. So what is this little bit here? This like little block here. What is that? I guess that's when something happened with a character, and this first one is Hamlet's ravings interrupt my sleep. That's what this one is. Oh, you can click on it. Yes. Okay. Where are people at? Do I want to speak with anyone in particular? I mean, I probably want to go speak with Hamlet. Looks like Polonius is on the way to Hamlet as well. They're probably going to stop us, I'm sure, and want to say hi. So Polonius and then Hamlet?
Ophelia.
Don't think I missed Hamlet leaving your room just now, Ophelia.
Father,
What's wrong?
You mustn't.
Only last night we discussed this. Why did I see Hamlet coming out of your chambers? Did nothing I say stick with you? Were you deceiving me? I can explain. And he was half-clothed, too. If only someone else had seen him dashing out like that. I shudder to think of it. I'm going to have to speak to the king about this. I cannot hide this from him. Unless, I suppose, you can offer some explanation for this transgression. This is in bold, so I guess this is where we're going to use the dialogue option that Hamlet woke us up. Or, actually, I don't think they woke us up, but they were just hanging out in our chamber. Ooh.
Ophelia?
I'm sorry, Father. I don't feel well. I had such an odd vision last night. A vision? No, never mind it. It's past now. I'll sleep better this evening, I think.
Be careful.
That's all I ask. Carrying on like this, it terrifies me. I don't want you hurt. Ophelia learns about a future event in which the king holds court about recent events. If it can happen in this world, it will appear on the timeline. If it can happen in this world, so if it hasn't been precluded by the things that I've done, it will show up here. This is your timeline. You can see past events, as well as future events which might occur. This is a past event. You can see which characters attended the event and what came of it. Okay. Future events are marked in blue. Because Elsinore's state is constantly changing, there is no guarantee a future event will happen for certain. The future event, 9:30 in the morning in the Great Hall, in which the king holds court about recent events. Bernardo, King Claudius, and Polonius. Okay, so that is probably going to happen. Or could happen. I don't know about probably, but it's possible that it would happen. Follow? What does that do? Well, I should mention what happened with Hamlet.
Father.
What you saw in my bedroom wasn't my doing. Hamlet burst into my room and accosted me. He's out of his mind, Father. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah.
It is true that his mood has been exceptionally poor as of late, but that doesn't excuse... I mean, more than usual. His clothing was torn. He was completely out of sorts, speaking gibberish.
What?
Oh dear, that is unusual, even for him. Once spurned, a young man's heart cannot be so easily tempered. I don't think this is related to my spurning him. Something else is wrong, I know it. Perhaps you'd bring up your experience the next time the king holds court. Though I'm afraid I don't know whether the queen has any intention of disciplining him. Acquire the information the prince and me... Whoops. So is that a lead? What is the prince and me? Oh, it's a piece of hearsay. Hamlet and I were in a relationship once, but it ended poorly. I could rekindle the flame if I wanted. Knowing what I know about the story of Hamlet, I don't think it'd be a good idea to get together with Hamlet. Hamlet is just a flaming trash fire disaster. Let's talk about the nightmare. I had a strange nightmare where I saw the royal court killed, but it felt real. Oh, my dear, I'm so sorry you had a terrible dream, but fundamentally, they're without consequence. It felt as though I'd experienced it all before. I saw Hamlet run you through with a sword. You went to spy on him over his behavior, and...
Of course not.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Mad as he may be, Prince Hamlet would surely never hurt me. Spoiler, Prince Hamlet kills Polonius normally. In fact, I have every intention of ensuring Hamlet causes no harm to anyone. I intend to find him at my earliest availability. He seems to frequent the same odd places these days. Ophelia learns about a future event in which Polonius questions Hamlet. If it can happen, yeah, let's see. Whoop. Starting at exactly 11:43 in the Royal Gallery. Look at these little dialogue things. The exact time in which Ophelia presents tragic nightmare to Polonius. Okay, so that's... Obviously, everything that appears in the timeline is going to be very important for figuring out how we want to change events. Right now, they don't mean all that much to me, not knowing really exactly how everything's going to work out based on these decisions. But in the future, this is going to be really important information. Now, what does follow? Oh, I guess if they happen to be moving, then you would just walk with them? Or something? Yeah. Let's see if we can go speak with Hamlet and see if they're in their chambers. Oh, they are. Hamlet and Marcellus. My lord, would you not even come to this morning's court?
I can't.
I don't think I can face him. Not after what I heard last night. But if you don't come, won't he be displeased? I knew your father well. He always kept a strong face in times like these. And so should you. Let's talk about what the hell's wrong with you.
Hamlet.
You seem to be in an unusually foul mood, even for you.
Ophelia.
Leave me. What you saw was a mistake. I was ill, and out of my mind, and I didn't see anything. No, of course I didn't. How could I have? How could it be real? Don't be ridiculous. I know you. This isn't normal for you.
Stop.
Just stop. Leave me alone. I need to think. I don't know anymore. Get away from me, and don't come back. The last time we fought, you were clear about holding no love in your heart for me. I'm trying to respect that with everything in me. I truly am. Oh, they're leaving me in here alone? Okay, let's look around then. Stolen portrait. It's Hamlet's father and his namesake, the late King Hamlet. Come to think of it, I noticed a blank space on the walls in the gallery. Oh, took it for themselves. If I want to sleep a while, should be in my own room, yes. There's some notes inside the chest. Whoa, oh, Hamlet's personal journal. June 6th. Some Roman noted date that's so long I don't really want to try to decode it. Ophelia will not even look at me. My love for her means nothing now. And in the great hall they rejoice my uncle's crowning. My father's proud form but a distant memory. If my uncle does not allow me to return to Wittenberg soon, I fear I will well and truly perish. August 8th. That thing was not my father. It can't be. My father lies buried. But if it wasn't my father, what devil or evil spirit was it? Am I truly losing my mind? Was it real? Can I be certain it wasn't just a horrid dream? No, the others saw it too, even if they won't speak to me of it. My uncle cannot be trusted. Devils disregarded, there is yet something evil in him. I found the literature which Bernardo mentioned, tucked away in the gallery downstairs. It only confirms my suspicions. And yet, something in me keeps me from acting on it. What has stolen my courage? What is this? The literature which Bernardo mentioned. Tucked away in the gallery downstairs. I guess I should look around the gallery really well. Something's very wrong. He's so cryptic. What does he mean? What did he see? I refuse to believe Hamlet's in this state on my behalf alone. I need to have a closer look at the gallery. Ophelia now believes that a death report exists for King Hamlet. Oh, a death report? So like an autopsy, kind of? Or whatever passed for a autopsy in this time? So is that like, checking the gallery, is that like marked on the map or something? Where's the Great Gallery? The Royal Gallery, right there. Nobody's in it right now. That's good. But yeah, is that marked somewhere? Like Leeds? Yeah. It says it within Prince Hamlet's madness as the lead down here. I've been pointed towards the gallery. I'm just wondering if I should like be making notes on my own, but it looks like the game is really good about making sure all important information is saved. Hamlet's gone and blocked out all the light. How juvenile. It's uncomfortably warm in here, considering the season. But I suppose Hamlet likes it this way. Ronaldo. My father's attendant, who manages his financial affairs. Poorly, I might add. Oh, I can't actually speak with them. Okay. 9:30. Oh, 9:30, they're holding court down here, so... Actually, you know what I can do? I could just click on the Great Hall and say, go. And we'll just go there. Yep, I can see everybody heading there, I think. Mm-hmm. Whoa, some weird teleporting. Fortinbras has decided there is no need to continue the bad blood between our nations, my lord. He wishes for safe passage to Poland. That requires him to cross our lands. A harmless enough request, given his recent peace offer. In the interest of repairing our friendship, I will allow him passage. Right, my lord. Queen Gertrude, Polonius, and King Claudius now believe that Fortinbras will cross Denmark. My king, I also have a grievance. Sorry to, interrupt the flow of the war chamber, so to speak, but it's a pressing personal concern.
Speak. Hamlet
Is acting quite mad. He threatens Ophelia's safety and her happiness, too. My poor Hamlet. I agree, he's been doing poorly as of late.
Now then.
But I believe I have identified the cause. Hamlet is lovesick. He's a man obsessed, and he's after my daughter. She told me he accosted her in her private chambers, in her own bed, mad as a horse in heat. Heated as a stag in rut, as a hound in...
Polonius.
I get the point. Excellent. That's all I wanted to impart. Of course, I've given word to Ophelia to rebuke him, disregarding whatever dalliance they once had. As well, we know they did, once. But if all of this is true, then Hamlet is in a worse state than even I anticipated. Are you sure he wasn't invited in? Not a chance. That is, no offense to young Hamlet, of course.
My lady.
What my father says is true. I didn't invite Hamlet into my chambers. And he seemed to be unusually disturbed. My apologies then, Ophelia. When he returned from Wittenberg, I thought... Well... Now, none of that talk here, love. There may be more to this than mere lovesickness. What do you mean by that? You and I should meet to discuss this further, privately. Perhaps tomorrow. In the meantime, Lady Ophelia, I urge you to stay away from Hamlet.
Of course.
My lord. Ophelia learns about a future event in which Father and the King plan to catch Hamlet. If it can happen in this world, it'll appear in the timeline.
Now.
Is this going to restart? I turned to the court with a more pressing matter. No, it sounds like we're just continuing this. My lord, I believe the possibility exists that someone disloyal to Denmark exists within this court, and they may wish to do you harm.
A spy?
A spy.
A spy amongst us. I have good reason to believe this threat is real. It may even be from outside Denmark. For example, though I welcome Fortinbras's request to cross our lands on his way to attack Poland, we cannot ignore that he recently threatened to wage war on us. A missing keyring, coded messages found just outside the castle. These are the signs of subterfuge. We've dealt with it before. I believe the threat is not simply outside Elsinore's walls, but within them as well. Come to think of it, I found certain personal items of mine disturbed last night, after my door was bolted for the evening. Okay, so this must be Hamlet's doing, right? Like, I'm thinking back to what I saw of Hamlet. I don't think there is actually a spy. Pretty sure it's just Hamlet getting up to some shit. If true, this is deeply worrying. We must be diligent. However, as we have no culprit in hand, I cannot yet take this threat seriously. Bernardo, I task you with speaking to all those who might have further information.
Yes, my lord.
That is all. You may adjourn. Spy in Elsinore. Learns more about To Catch a Spy. Okay, that truly seems to be it. Something is going to happen right after. Polonius is going to question Hamlet. Oh, in the Royal Gallery, which is where I wanted to go anyway to figure out what text they had read there. The event is happening now. Yes. Let's go there. I hope I don't miss the event.
My prince. Fascinating.
I think this is in a reply to Hamlet saying I'm reading something, reading stuff. Polonius says, certainly one presumes so, unless you become illiterate. But do tell me, words about what? Meaningless drivel. This author thinks old men have wrinkled faces and gray beards. What does he know about anything? He says that they prattle on and on and on, thinking they're wise when really they have no wisdom at all. And weak thighs at that. I find the notion odd, since old men could be as young as I if they only walked backwards like crabs? What?
There is a method to this madness.
The boy's insane. Or is he simply mocking me? Though this be madness, yet there is a method. There is method in it. What did you say?
Farewell.
Nothing, my prince. I should take my leave. Ah, good. There's nothing I'd rather you take. Except perhaps my life. Okay, so there should be something in here. Important to read. A lot of books here, but I see the bit of parchment I'm looking for. Oh. Got lucky on the first click. Physician's report, King Hamlet. His Highness passed away last night, and my autopsy was performed this morning. The condition of the body is intact, with no visible sign of struggle or trauma. It would seem His Majesty died peacefully. As to the cause of death, the thickening of his blood at first gives the indication of a snake bite. He was slumbering in his garden when discovered, and of course, it being summer, there is nothing suspicious about being bitten by a snake, though it is most regrettable. However, upon closer inspection of the curdled blood, I detected a faint smell unlike any I had ever conceived of. And the bite wound is unlike any snake I have yet seen. Very odd. I'm declaring his death an unfortunate accident under uncommon circumstances. Uncommon circumstances? I wonder how much Hamlet suspects of his father's death, and to what extent a snake was really involved. I cannot act without evidence. I must follow Hamlet and see where his path leads him, for now. Learn more about Prince Hamlet's madness, and we've read the death report. Yeah, nothing else in our timeline for now. Okay, well, I think this is a pretty good place to end the episode, so I hope you've enjoyed so far, and when I return, well, I don't have any particular plan in mind, really, just kind of wander around and read stuff and talk with people and just see what happens.